Yes, I'm here. I'm not late. I just needed to get a cup of coffee. Phew. It's been a long couple days. Today was something at court for Kelsey Fitzsimmons. It was supposed to start at 8:30. I was there at about 8:15, maybe around 8, between 8 and 8:15, I'd say. A few minutes after 8. Um, I'm going to talk all about it. Everybody I saw there was quite a few media people there. It was great to see justice served. We're going to talk about them tonight. Play some of the video that they recorded, the pool, talk about all the media, talk about where Justin was sitting, talking about Kelsey, her family. I'm going to tell you everything that happened today and my interaction with Justin today and his lawyer. Man, I wish we could have recorded that because it was inside the courtroom. Inside the courthouse, outside the courtroom, but inside the courthouse, and you can't record there. So I'm just going to give you the play by play. But before I do that, I just want to review, make sure we get everything in because there's a lot to get in today into what happened today in court. And the first thing I'm going to start with is what some of you already saw, but some people didn't see it. So we're going to lead with this. This is the little press conference after. And what you're going to see is Tim Bradel, criminal defense attorney Tim Bradel, with this family law attorney. She's phenomenal. I really like her. I think she's a great attorney. And the family of Kelsey Fitzsimmons and her friends. She had friends there as well, and the paralegal. And basically, what I wanted to let you know about this video that I'm going to play right now is that this is my new phone. This is why I got it, so I could get this kind of better audio on the courtroom steps. Unfortunately, I still screwed up. I like got the top plan for the hotspot, and I couldn't figure out how to turn the hotspot on. And I was in this other section, and it had something about hotspot, but it wasn't the right one. And so I didn't have the hotspot on. I was using the 5G coverage, and you're going to see it's spotty. It's not perfect. But no, in the future, I think now that I know how to turn the hotspot on and I have this beautiful camera and it does get great video and audio, I didn't even need a microphone. I was going to get the mic and I just heard it so good and it worked perfectly. So next time, it's going to be even better. There's not going to be any glitching. There's not going to be any buffering. The hotspot should work there, and we're going to get that going. So I wish I tried it. I meant to try it yesterday, test it out, but I just ran out of time. But it came out good. So we're just gonna play this video real quick, and then I'm gonna come back and talk about quite a bit about what happened today. And one of the things you're gonna notice here too is that there's no video or audio really that you're gonna find from Justin, his family, or his attorney. And there is a little bit that Justice Serve got of Justin walking into the courtroom. We'll play that as well tonight. But notice the difference here between Justin, the fiance, baby daddy, and Kelsey's family and Kelsey's defense. One answers questions, the other doesn't. I think that's very telling at this point. We're going to talk much more about my interaction with Justin too. Let's just play the video, get to that, and then we'll talk more about what a lot of people want to hear about. Justin, can we get this video going?
So we'd be more than happy to talk to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to rush or anything. You guys mind if I just shift this way a little bit for the sun?
Do you mind if we start with Counselor Hess just on the probate stuff?
Yep, come here. I'm going to introduce you. Yep.
Thank you.
Everybody, this is Julie Hess. She's our family attorney, and Julie's going to talk about what happened today and where we expect to go with Kelsey and the custody visitation issues.
So today was a good day to finally give Kelsey a voice. We filed an answer. We got a counterclaim. Today was really the day that she could really feel that she was heard and to start her voice in the probate and family court. We've already worked out some terms of an agreement that you probably heard the judge talk about, which is the stipulation. Both sides are willing to enter that wherever we may be. The judge currently is deciding venue. It's a big step in the case and it's a big deal, which is why I sought an extension of time to file a brief on that. And that's where we are right now.
Can you just look up that? No, I was going to say, seemed you were kind of sandbagged on the venue issue. What's up with that?
I wouldn't say that necessarily. What happened was because before she could retain counsel to enter into the probate and family court, the clerk only could communicate with opposing counsel when they had filed a motion to expedite today's hearing. And that's when they alerted that attorney that the father had filed a certain document that indicated he lived in a certain place that wouldn't line up with the venue of this particular court. So the court had alerted him that that's what may be happening. And he did tell me this morning, and that's why we agreed on having an extension of time to address it. So that's something that we both have to look into.
Why does the venue matter? The attorney, Justin's attorney said he didn't ask for a change of venue or anything, but I guess just physically, just in the stove. Why does it matter?
Well, it matters because it's a matter of law. And so if there are orders that enter and it's a wrong venue, they could be easily vacated. So that's something that we want to make sure is settled. And when there is something that we need to have done, it's not going to turn on, oh, this person didn't have the authority to do that. So it's a big deal for both sides.
Can you tell us a little bit about the venue? It's for the probate matter. Can you just give us a summation of what's trying to happen with the probate matter, with the child and the house sale?
No, I don't want to comment on that right now.
But
Long road. That's a long road with a lot of twists and turns, and
But that's
You
the
guys
venue
know.
we're talking about for this.
For the probate and family court case, yes, absolutely. That's the venue issue that's before this court right now.
It seems to me there was a lot of pre-planning by Justin Lane, I'm sure I'm wrong. Got all of his ducks in order where he has his voting, his car, everything but his job. So I don't know. Do you think that's disingenuous to some degree or just overly planned? What's your take on how this was seemingly orchestrated?
I don't want to speculate. I also don't want to necessarily suggest it was orchestrated. I don't want to make too much commentary because, as you heard me say, probably to the judge today, there's going to be a lot of information I need to gather. And I do know that Justin's counsel is willing to provide me with the information that we need. So right now, I don't want to comment too much on that. But I will say it's not unusual for someone who is altering certain parts of their life to need to move on in certain areas. But that really does not affect venue per se after a case has been filed. Okay. Otherwise, I'm sure you can imagine most people going through a probate and family court matter might file something in one particular court and they make changes in the rest of their life. It doesn't affect venue. So I don't want to speculate too much on what Justin's motive may have been for doing any of that right now.
And so it sounded like you guys are going to brief the issue and the judge is just going to rule based on your briefs. You're
Yeah,
not going to come back for a hearing. And then what's sort of the next step after that once you settle on the venue, because the sale of the house is sort of right around the corner, it sounds like.
That's when the stipulation will be entered by the judge, the certain terms that we have agreed upon with opposing counsel and the father. Those are small steps towards trying to reunite mother and child. But that will be the next step. And then there's a lot of ins and outs that happen after these initial hearings. So we'll be working on that for Kelsey.
What about the family? The grandparents don't get to see the baby. Is that going to come up soon?
That is not something that I can comment on. I do not represent the grandparents, and I have not even spoken to the folks who will be helping them. So I can't comment on that.
everything's on the table, Mike. We're going to work on all those issues. Like I tell my clients all the time, we're still baking the cake on that. And, sorry.
Sorry.
Mike, sorry. So, everything's still on the table. We want to get Kelsey and Caden to a proper place. It's a bit of a road and there are some hurdles. As everybody knows, there were some hurdles also interposed by the Superior Court judge that we're going to have to address. And we are addressing those soon in this SJC. We're going to be filing today our petition in the SJC full bench requesting that Kelsey have a completely new bail structure put into place. And we're filing that today. We expect that, and we're optimistic that there's going to be a very short turnaround time. There's going to be an expedited hearing. We're asking for an in-person hearing. Those don't often happen, but I think this case certainly warrants it. And that's part of the overall picture that's going to be important for Julie to best address Kelsey's situation. We have to get that bail situation dealt with, which will, we hope and expect will remove some hurdles that are in place for Kelsey's reunification.
What opened the door for you to be able to do the full panel? You said there's maybe an error about the single judges?
Yes, we're contending there's an error of law, and I'm gonna let the papers speak for themselves. And I promise you guys will have them when we file. So
How is Kelsey doing? How is she
she's
feeling?
doing great. She's very happy that, she's here in probate court. Julie's given her a lot of hope that, things are gonna finally move.
It's that question too today. That's kind of a variation of one of the questions I had wished I had asked Justin today. Whether he cares about the mom. That's one of the questions I wish I'd asked today. There's a few questions I wish I had asked him. So that other question I actually asked him. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But let's play more of the video. I like the two questions I asked the attorneys. I will say that. It's funny. The third question I was about to ask the attorney, someone behind us will ask them. You'll hear that question in a minute too. Some good reporters here today. Justice served. He recorded all the video today. NBC Boston also had two video guys, one inside and one outside. They also had a reporter in person. So NBC Boston covering this extensively. They're all in. Justice served as well, that YouTube channel. That dude drove from Connecticut into Salem on Halloween week, basically. He may have got in pretty easily this morning, but still, imagine going through all that Boston, Connecticut traffic to get to the North Shore. And then on the way home, he's got Halloween. That guy must have driven, I think, like 3.5 hours. Like, he is so dedicated. Props to him. I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat. Who was there? Who wasn't? A lot of people have a long drive to get to these things, and that's why you don't see everybody that you want to see, especially in the media. For me, that always is a factor. This being so close to me, that's why I'm there. That's why I'm able to sit there for 2 hours this morning. It's supposed to start at 8:30. It didn't really start until I think about 10:45. We sat there for over 2 hours in those benches, just waiting, watching them call other people. The place was packed. Let's play more of this video, and I'll tell you about everything that happened today.
Relative to Kaden, which of course is the most important thing to her. I said in a few of my filings a while ago, Kelsey's devoted her entire life to two things: her baby and her law enforcement career. And she's gonna keep her eye on the ball, and we're gonna get her there.
Did she get any help from her police union on the defense or the probate matters or anything?
We don't want to get into that right now. That's another thing that's on the table, and that's something that's in the works.
Yeah, another one that had a long ride today. She drove in with her daughter. Law Girls Not Attorney podcast. You asked the question. When you asked that question, that was the next question I was about to ask, actually. You asked the question for me today, Law Girls Not Attorneys podcast. We're going to play that in a second. We're going to hear you ask a question. And it's exactly the question I was going to ask next.
We have some excellent counsel on that as well. And we fully expect that's going to land in a place that's appropriate and happy. And Kelsey will be happy with where it lands.
And the focus of the criminal case is really just figuring out where she was pointing that gun. It seems like that would be the tell of where this case would go, or it would be thrown out.
That is the crux of that case, and that's going to be dealt with hopefully in short order.
How do you approach that? That's what I was trying to.
Not going there.
Tim, is this the first time they've seen each other since the restraining order?
Wait, I got a stereo.
One question,
Go ahead.
Is this the first time that Kelsey and Justin have seen each other since the restraining order, the shooting, all this went down?
Right. That's true, Charlie. It's a tough atmosphere, but she's going to be fine. She's going to be great.
A good question. That's another good reporter. He's from Mass Live. His name is Charlie. He's been doing great coverage on Karen Reed, Turtle Boy, Miles King. This guy covers everything in court. He shows up and stays to the end. Today he was on his laptop, and he's got the full journalist. He's approved by the state. And so he's supposed to be able to type and use his phone. And the court personnel will give him a hard time. And I loved it because Charlie was not backing down. He was just like, I'm like, go, Charlie. I was just watching him. And he wasn't being mean or rude or making a scene, but he was definitely sticking up for his rights as a journalist, which we need more of that in Massachusetts because we sit here for 2 hours waiting for this thing to happen, and then another half hour plus waiting for them to come out. So we're sitting around for 2.5 hours for like 15 minutes of content. And you're telling us we can't use our computers or phones the whole time. Like me, all this other stuff is going on. People are texting me, both from my dog walk business as well as journalism. And I can't look at my phone the whole time I'm sitting there waiting for you to call Kelsey Fitzsimmons. It's ridiculous because I don't have a badge. I'm going to get a badge. Definitely going to get a badge now. But that's the world here. It's just so over restrictive in these courts for us journalists. And I'm glad that Charlie stood up for himself today. And he's a good guy. He's a great journalist. And like I said, there were so many good journalists there today. There's also another journalist from Lawrence Eagle Tribune, a great newspaper. Two great newspapers. Mass Live is the Worcester Telegram and Gazette outfit. Mass Live is the website. I believe maybe that's the newspaper now. It's the whole conglomerate. One of the largest newspapers in the state, behind probably the Globe and the Herald. And then you also have the Lawrence Eagle Tribune, which is another, I would say it's probably the fourth or fifth largest newspaper in the state. So a lot of good journalists there today. And Charlie asked a good question.
What did she say after, how she was feeling after today's hearing?
She's up. She's encouraged that things are moving along. She's very happy to hear that we're going to be getting we're going to be heard in the Supreme Judicial Court very soon. We're very optimistic about that. And she's, above all, she's just thrilled to have Julie on the case, pushing her rights here in probate court.
And what,
Happy to show up for her son today. I think she feels like she shows up for herself and her son when she does this. I think that's why she felt hope today.
Yeah.
Can you speak?
The funny thing is, Charlie actually has the SJC pass, and they were still giving him trouble. Like, oh, you didn't check in earlier enough or some shit. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, even when you have a pass, they still give you trouble. We're gonna talk everything court. Let's just get through this little press conference. I want to hear what they have to say here.
About like her supporters showing up and like
That's what I wanted to-
to look out the gallery and seeing everybody in purple or
Sure. She actually asked about that. She said, who is here today? And we explained to her all of our supporters were here today and that everyone was here to help her. And she was very elated to hear that. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, she really appreciated that. And I'm glad you said that, Amanda, because she did ask me to tell you guys, that she really appreciates everyone being here, taking time out of their lives to support her. It means the world to her. It means the world to us. So thank you.
That was a good question. That was the question I wanted to ask next, and it was asked by there you go, one of our folks in the chat tonight. She's got a podcast. I don't want to screw it up. I always say it wrong, so let me bring it back up so I remember how to say it. It's a long one. Here it is. Law Girls Not Attorneys podcast. It's not that hard. Law Girls Not Attorneys. Thank you. This is a good question. And you could tell too, like, because I've been to I think 3 or 4 hearings now for Kelsey. I didn't see it so much today because of my angle where I was sitting, but I know every time she comes into that courtroom, she does look around, and she looks, first obvious to her family and friends, but then she looks over. She looks at everybody in that courthouse. So I know it means a lot to her, and I'm glad that her attorneys got to express that to everybody because there were a lot of people there. It was standing room only. There weren't enough seats. It was uncomfortable in there. People showed up today. People showed up, and it was good to see. And I know her family appreciates it. And the people there that were there to support Kelsey. There was no question about who they were there for.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, so let me ask you about the stipulation. Let me squeeze in here.
Yeah,
That
go
minute.
ahead.
Anything you can share about the stipulation, and was it filed, and if so, under seal or not?
It was filed. I don't want to share too much because the judge declined to issue an order on it due to the venue issue. I will say that the provisions that are in the stipulation are moving toward a reconnection with her and her son. It's positive steps. And I'm happy to say that both sides were on the same page for that, literally and figuratively. So that's all I can say on the stipulation.
Interesting. So there was some type of stipulation. Basically, it was an agreement that has been talked about between both parties that somehow is in an agreement, and we don't know what it is. It wasn't disclosed, but I think just listening to that, we have an idea of what it might relate to, and it's reunification of Kelsey with the baby. So it's a process, and obviously they may be working something out here, could be good for both parties. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Justin come around. Uh, One thing I'll say about Justin, I didn't see a cocky kid today. I saw a kid that I could see in his eyes, like, and I don't know. I don't know him. I've heard a lot about him, not all great. But I could see this is not something that he's taken lightly. He's not like a cocky McAlbert. That's what it did. It didn't feel like that to me today. I'm going to say more about it in a second. But maybe they could start working this shit out for the best interest of the kid. That's what I'd like to see. The child should be number one.
On the funds for the sale of the house, ultimately, are they going to go into escrow to be decided later? I realize now with the home sale pending and imminently, you got to figure out where that money's going to go. Is some sort of escrow a likely possibility there?
TBD, to be determined. We don't want to get into details. Like Julie said, she's trying to bake this cake. So let's just let it play out and, stipulate.
And that's the other thought. That was what I immediately thought of too, being a financial advisor in the past and having customers that were going through separations and divorce and all that stuff. Because sometimes that would come into play with their retirement money, especially in disbursements or having it divided. So the first thing I thought of today is maybe this is an agreement about how they're actually going to handle the cost of caring for the baby and the funds. Maybe they're going to put the money in escrow. That's a common thing that they do, is they'll put the money aside, not spend it, put it into an account and make sure it's there, and come to some terms before they even go to court on how much, child support, and all that stuff. So it's a possible that could be what's being talked about. It makes sense, because if you have that set up, right, then you can talk about visitation, right? So I think that's probably what it is. I think that some type of probably agreement on the money and, what the next steps are and how do we get to some type of resolution without even having a judge weigh in on it. If the two people can just agree on it, then that's less trouble for both of them, right? And the lawyers too. So I think that may be something to do with it. It also could be some type of visitation process. Who knows? What's interesting is that the attorney that Kelsey has for this is obviously not the attorney for the family, for the grandparents. So that's going to be a different thing. I would hope that the grandparents don't have to get an attorney. Why should they have to file and pay for an attorney to see their grandbaby? I just hope Justin lets them see the baby. Just do it. Why do you have to have a lawsuit over that? That's what I'm hoping starts to happen. Cooler heads, adult minds start saying, what's in the best interest for this baby? Lawsuits and going to court aren't the best interest of the baby, right?
Stipulations or proposals to the court, and we'll see what happens. But we'll have to wait and see.
Is that why the venue kind of matters? Because of maybe where the money might land?
No, that's not.
Okay. Yeah.
Next hearing.
What do we get?
Is it October 29th?
The next hearing in the restraining order or in the probate and family court matter?
Either or in both.
Probate and family will be in May, but there's likely going to be hearings before that. But that's the next scheduled hearing. For the restraining order, I believe that's in November.
December 2nd. November 20th.
December 2nd.
December 2nd.
December 2nd, Courtney, thank you. December 2nd
And criminal is
is,
25th
is,
November.
no, what's the criminal?
There was one on the 25th of November.
It might be.
November 25th is Salem Superior, Essex Superior. However, the restraining order at probate is December 2nd. So November 25th for.
November
the
25
Superior Court.
over there.
Okay.
December 2nd here for the restraining order.
Can we ask the parents how they're doing and they're here and they're supporting?
I think guys, they've been through the ringer, they've been here every step of the way. They've been supporting us in 100 different ways, supporting Kelsey. They're taking their cues from us and, they kind of want to speak through us for now. And, other occasions, maybe, in a less kind of on the spot way that they'd be willing to speak with you guys and just let us know when you want to hear something like that. We'll work with you on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
JULIE and then HESS.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Gotcha. Everybody good?
Thanks, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being.
Just on my
Mike, good
own,
to see
not on camera.
Thank you.
It's,
Good to see you, Mr. Radel.
Kind of the stipulation, what is trying to be sorted out in the whole case right now? It's basically, who has the custody of the child, and is that kind of what the whole case is?
All of that is
Is-
going to be addressed in this court, but
Gotcha.
it all takes a lot of time to flesh out.
Got it.
So custody, parenting time, child support, health insurance for the child, that kind of thing. That is all going to be part of this case.
Got it. And then this court, does they weigh in at all when that sale happens? That's not involved at all. Okay. That's why I was confused. Like, is there something I don't there that has impacted the house sale? Because she was saying that she was trying to get it done before the November 7th.
Thanks.
And I mean, she
Thanks
said
for
that
coming.
there might not be a
Bye.
extended.
Once you see the stipulation, you will understand. But I can't really reveal more than that right now.
Gotcha. And see the stipulation, I can't see the report, right? It's going to be at the clerk's office or?
I'm not sure what the judge did with it. She probably is holding it.
Okay. Thank you for.
Thank you.
I cover criminal law usually.
Whole different atmosphere, right? Whole different ballgame.
Do you mind if do you have your contact number or anybody?
Sure. I'll give you my cell, 617.
Yeah.
Well, I won't be here on November 25th.
Put that on the.
That's me.
Do you have a card or at all?
I do.
I'd love to get a card.
I say I handled that perfectly. Moving the camera away and covering the mic so that you didn't get her phone number broadcast to millions. I hope nobody picked that up. She's very nice. I think she's a great attorney, and I think Kelsey's in good hands here. Here's where it starts glitching, and this is my issue on today. I didn't know how to turn on the hotspot.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll give
I
you mine
screwed
too.
up. I thought the hotspot was on, and it wasn't on. And this camera and microphone is so great. I can't wait till next time when I actually have the stupid hotspot on that I paid extra to get the maximum, whatever you call it, the maximum bandwidth is what they said. I was like, that's what I want. I want whatever you can boost me. I need a boost. The guy showed me on my old phone, but not on my new phone. I couldn't find it. Now I know where it is. I found it 5 minutes after the video ended. I found it. So next time we'll be on the hotspot. I'm sorry it got broken up here. It would have been even better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Happy to be on.
Right there in the center. That is her father. Center right there.
Thank you.
Whoop. Dropped it. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Right there. That's the one we need, Africa.
Yeah.
When do you think we'll see the actual SJC thing?
Before, I need to eat a turkey sandwich first.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put it out.
My two, or maybe it's my four.
I promise everybody will get it. Okay. Somebody doesn't have it by.
Yeah, the stepfather was in the picture too. That's right. That was him.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. Great job.
And here's where I try to
And I'm
flip
gonna,
the camera.
Mike, it's nice meeting you.
nice seeing you.
Funeral tomorrow, so.
Everybody, take care.
You
I'm
too.
gonna shut it down here.
I'm
This is
gonna,
where I tease you all. I said I was gonna tell you about my interaction with Justin, and then the internet totally like crashed down on me. I'm on the 5G. I wasn't on the hotspot. That's when I realized I wasn't actually on the hotspot. That's when I realized it. But next time it'll be even better. And I'll try to be there November 25th and December 2nd. November 25th is the Essex Superior Court date, and December 2nd is going to be back in Family and Probate Court. All right, let's talk about court. The first thing I was gonna say is like I got there pretty early. I walked into that courtroom at 8:30. When I walked in, there was already a good amount of people there, especially on the right-hand side, where the family, that was kind of the family and friends section, you could tell, for Kelsey. Right up front was her dad and her stepmom, the stepdad and the mom and the family friends, So, like, they were all right-hand side, right up front, right where Kelsey would be coming in. And on the left side, was more journalists in the front rows, kind of, um, and some Kelsey supporters, and then in the back row was Justin, I believe his brother, I think it was his sister, and his father, I believe. And they were basically, I was in like the second row, basically, where there's really like, there's a row inside the, bailiff section. So I was really in the second row of, general seating. And they were in the third row behind, he was sitting right behind me when I walked in. And so I sat down and then I looked over at the family section and one of the legal advocates was waving me over. And I was like, no, I'm going to sit here with the other press people. I'm a press person. I'm going to sit with the press. And plus, Justin's sitting right behind me. I kind of want to, get a feel for it, just knowing he's sitting behind me. So I didn't move. And then more seats kind of opened up in the front, and I just moved right to that front row with other press people. And so, I basically noticed, checking everyone out, checking out the courtroom. And some people noticed that some family members of Justin were wearing purple, which I found was interesting. I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know if they didn't know. I have a feeling it might have been intentional. Maybe the message they were trying to say, since purple is the color of Caden, right? It's a birthstone color. Maybe they were trying to send the message they support Caden too, which is kind of cool in a way, if you think about it. Like, because isn't that what everyone's there for besides Kelsey is the baby? So maybe they can, maybe they could do what's right and come a little closer together with that other family and the best interests of the baby, because some of them were wearing purple today and people noticed it. I noticed it. They're definitely watching. I felt like they knew who I was. I do. I felt like they knew who I was right away. And so basically we just sat there, all of us sat there for 2 hours and they were calling other people up. We're watching all these dysfunctional families, people getting out of jail, having custody issues, and all of that's going on. And 2 hours in, Kelsey has arrived, and we know she's here. We're waiting for her to come in. They bring her in. And all of a sudden it's, we're thinking some juicy stuff's going to come out today, that they're going to talk about, all the stuff and they didn't really talk about anything except what you heard the question about, what kind of agreement have you come up with? It seems like there's some agreement, which we didn't know. They didn't, the stipulation, we have no idea what the stipulation between the two parties are. We have no clue. The only other really thing that came up today was about Justin moving to Stowe. He immediately apparently moved to Stowe, where his parents live, changed his address, changed his license, got approval from work to even live there outside the 20-mile zone from his work, and even changed his voter registration. And so apparently that, because he moved, the jurisdiction of this case might be heard in Stowe instead of Essex County for this situation with the baby and the child custody and all of it, the family probate, which would suck for me because I want to go to every hearing, and to go to Stowe is going to be a lot harder for me, way harder, which is probably what they want. That's probably one of the reasons they want to do that, honestly. It's funny because one of the journalists apparently asked the attorney, Justin's attorney, about that, and he said that they had nothing to do with that, and apparently there's some type of law that, so maybe it's about the law itself. I'm not sure. It seemed to me that Justin's side was pushing it, but the attorney apparently said to one of the journalists that that's not the case, that they weren't pushing it. Is Stowe in Middlesex County? Okay. That might not be as bad then, depending on what part of Middlesex County. That's still pretty far. That's 128 traffic hell for me. But it won't be moved in, as far as we know, the criminal aspect is going to stay in Essex Superior Court. And the next hearing is still December 2nd. It's still here in Essex. So the next two hearings are still in Essex, but it could actually, the family probate stuff could get moved to the other county, wherever Stowe is actually at. I haven't even looked it up. I thought it was interesting that Justin and his family are sitting in the back of the court, and Kelsey and her family are in the front. As a former school teacher and student in high school, middle school, elementary school, kindergarten, and in college, you can denote a lot from people by where they sit. I feel like, you know, if you go into a classroom, the average classroom, especially in college where there's no assigned seating, that's where you really see it. The people who sit in the first two rows generally have higher grades than the people in the back, right? So I thought that was interesting that while we're waiting, they're in the back. And, I believe I came in after they did. So they could have sat in one of those first two rows. They could have scooched up. They could have got up, but they didn't. They chose to sit in the back, which I thought was interesting. Where Kelsey's family, right up front, first row. Dad, I could see him right there in the first row. First people that Kelsey is going to see when she walks into that courtroom. All right, so after the hearing, and we're going to play the hearing. Justice Serve got it. Even before that, let's play the video. I have a little video of Justin walking into the courtroom today, and this is again Justice Serve TV. Is it Michael Michelle? Am I saying that right? I know people know them. I met him today. I like him a lot. I want to make sure I get his name right. Nice guy. He was offering me like the video, and he's already uploaded it. So we're gonna play all his video today. And I just want to tell Justice Serve TV too, like any content that I ever have, they can always use my content too. I never complain. I never do copyright strikes, even against the trolls. And I like Justice Serve TV. They're amazing.
Sir, may I ask you a quick question about today?
No comment, please.
Do you expect you're going to be successful in getting the money from Kelsey's house?
Oh.
Sir, may I ask you a quick question about today?
No comment, please.
Do you expect you're going to be successful in getting the money from Kelsey's house?
I gotta play it twice. Boom. Good question. Good question to ask. People are telling me now it's hold on, let me get this. Hold on one second. The video is still playing in the background. I gotta get rid of it. All right, people are telling me it's Michelle Bryant, but it sounds like Michael. So it's spelled Michelle, but it's actually Michael. That's right. He did say Michael. That's why I was wondering. It's Michael Bryant. Michael Bryant. I think I'm right on that. Michael Bryant. It's spelled Michelle. It's spelled Michel. It's Michael Bryant. We get the same name. We're both Michaels. Or Mike. I don't know if he likes Mike. Some Michaels don't like Mike. I like Mike. It's short and sweet. And I used to not like Mikey, but I kind of do like Mikey. It depends on how, they use it, right? If my buddy KLP used to call me Mikey sometimes too. All right, let's play. I want to play this video. This is from court today. Oh, wait, before I do that. All right, so let's I love Mikey. Yeah, remember that? Life cereal. This is Michael Jordan. All right, so let's talk about Justin. As soon as the hearing ends, I'm already thinking like I'm gonna follow them. I'm gonna follow them. I'm gonna ask him questions. I'm gonna ask him and his attorney questions. And I'm gonna make a beeline. I'm gonna be out the door. I'm gonna be waiting for him. I'll probably just like even wait by the elevator and see which way they go and maybe get them outside, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, nobody leaves the court before I do. And I get up and he's already out the door. Like he was out the friggin' door. And I basically almost chased him down. And we go through the doors and he's just about to go around the corner and there he is. And I said, Justin, I'd like to ask you some questions. Can I ask you some questions? He's like, no comment. Talk to my attorney. And I'm like, I just want to share your side. Like, I feel like your side needs to be shared, right? And I said, to him, I looked at him and I said, is it true? This was the question I asked him. Maybe it was too much. I said, is it true? And why weren't you, actually, I don't even know if I said it was true. I think I was more like, if you were afraid, and you filed a restraining order testifying that you were afraid of Kelsey, why did you go back to your house where you knew Kelsey was with her guns to get your stuff without the police there? And he said, no comment. Talk to my lawyer. And then he walked away, and that was it. Like at that point, I'm like, I'm not gonna follow the guy. I can't, I'm not a harasser or a stalker, but I honestly want to hear his side. I want him to tell us like what's going on. Like I looked into his eyes today. He did look cocky, you know. And I almost, the question I wish I had asked him, are you concerned about Kelsey? Like, are you concerned about her well-being? You were engaged to her. She's the mother of your child. Are you looking to find how you can support the mother of your child? You know what I mean? That's what the question I maybe wish I asked. The question I asked, I was hoping to get some type of reaction out of him. I didn't get a reaction out of him. And that's the real question I have for Justin, because I think he is watching this stuff. And if I see you again, Justin, that's the question I'm going to ask you. Because, dude, I come from a broken family. I grew up with a mom and dad that didn't get along. And the kids suffered. And it's affected me my whole goddamn life. And I'm not saying it's like, something I couldn't get over. I'm a very strong individual. I'm pretty smart, pretty crafty. I'm one in a million. But there's a lot to overcome. And I worry about your baby. And I worry that you seem to be going to war with the mother of your baby. And I'm wondering, man, if you're going to actually recognize that. Like, is this what you want? Do you think this is helping your baby? Because I don't think Kelsey's a bad person at all, even if you believe the narrative you've set. And I'd ask you, have you looked at the Clancy trial? That husband had gone through way worse than you, dude. Way worse. And look how he treats the mother of his kids that are no longer here. Maybe you should be talking to him. You don't want to talk to me? Maybe you should talk to him. And that's a question I'm going to ask you, Justin. If I see you again, I'm just going to ask you: are you worried about the well-being of Kelsey? This is a woman that you were engaged to. Are you doing what's best for the mother of your child? Are you doing best for the baby by? I'd love to hear his answer on that, because I'm sure he's got an answer. He didn't give it today. He said, "Go speak to my attorney." So when Justin went around the corner, guess who was right behind him? Turned around, there's his attorney. He say, "Sir, do you have any comment? Any comment today?" No comment. Did this guy, like, unlike Justin was actually polite to me. He looked me in my eyes. He said no comment. I talked to my lawyer, right? This attorney didn't even say that. The attorney acted like I wasn't even there. He didn't even give me a no comment. He just kept going. I asked him like twice, like, come on, man, you don't have any comment? You're not even gonna give a, he didn't even, like I wasn't even there. I'm going to read a couple of your super chats and comments, and I started a couple of them earlier. I want to thank Charlie Lynn for becoming a new member today. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah, and someone said, why did Justin wear purple? I think he might have been wearing some purple too. Maybe, maybe he want to support the baby. That's the baby's birthstone color, right? I don't think that's actually a bad message to send, actually. I hope it's just not performative, though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when you do something like that, you really got to mean it. Someone said ex-fiance. That's correct. He is obviously the ex-fiance. No longer. I'm glad you all corrected me on that when I said that. That's what I can count on you all for, is making sure that, which is what we want. Make sure everything is on point here. He is the ex-fiance. Thank you. There were quite a few of you who corrected me on that when I said that, and I appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much. Diane says, for your defense fund, because you are defending the truth. Thank you for that, Mike. I want to thank everyone last night, LTL, Mazda Media, all the people who donated. Even today, I saw some new donations come in. It was starting to dry up there on donations. And last night, thank you so much, everybody who stepped up, and thank you for showing the love on it. I very much appreciate that. Some people at the court today said, I just watched you last night. I just finished up this morning. Watching you on LTL. Shannon M. Said $4.99, says, thank you for all you do, Mike. Appreciate you. Love from Seattle. Wow. Seattle, that's a good place for me. Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Nirvana. It's a magic place up there in Seattle. I went up there. I visited there with the band that I managed. They played the Olympia Theater. Oh, no, not the Olympia. The Capitol Theater in Olympia, Washington. Also booked a show in Tacoma for them. That was fun. We stayed in Seattle too, I believe. Did we? Or no, actually, trying to remember. No, we didn't stay in Seattle. We stayed in Olympia actually. We flew into Seattle, obviously though. Such a long time ago. Natalie says every decision he's made has been in his interest and not in the best interest of the child. That's what it feels like a lot, unfortunately. Yeah, Susie Q. Boston says, makes me wonder about his parents. I would never keep my kids from my mother-in-law ever. And especially looking at those parents, the mom, the stepdad, and the father. They're there at every hearing. They're like, they're perfect. I don't see why you would be worried about them at all. Like I said, you saw the father's the best dressed one there. They handle themselves with class at all times. They don't get involved in any BS or drama. Um, they're straight shooters, and look at them. They're there early. They're sitting up front. Like you can see. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, one thing I will say about my upbringing, I mentioned earlier, I'm a product of a broken family. The best thing my mom did is let me see my grandparents on that side of the family. That was like the best thing for me ever, actually, was those grandparents on that side of the family. There was a big issue between my mom and dad growing up, but she didn't extend it to them, thank God. Because they were so big in my, I don't think I would have been here actually without that. So that's why I asked that question today. Because that's what I think about. What if I didn't get to see my grandparents? They were the most successful people in my life. You know? And they gave us so much love. I was like a poor kid. When we were young, we were poor. My brother and I, basically. And when you go over there to the grandparents' house, it'd be like, he would say to us, I'm the richest man in Danvers. Let's go to MVP Sports. We'd buy everything. Buy the store out. So that's why I asked that question today. And that's exactly it, Diane. The more love a child can have in their life, the better. And that's what grandparents give you. You right? It's very rare you hear about a bad grandparent. You hear a lot about bad parenting, but generally grandparents are Thank you, Denise. Denise is also Denise Knoll, new member. Thank you so much. Yes, Michael Bryant and Linda Kenny Baden of Justice Served TV have offered to pay for a scram system for Kelsey that is not on the that is on the ankle and does not require Kelsey to blow into a tube. I did see that. And I got to give it up to Michael, man. He drove all the way up there and he got that film today. We're going to watch it actually. He was the pool camera for us internet people. NBC Boston also recorded. They told me I could call them and get it and, you know, call a phone number and get it. But Michael already posted it up for us. So he's our internet pool camera guy when he shows up. I love it. And he made it happen today. He's another one. I complimented Charlie on standing up for us journalists. I want to thank Michael too, Michael Bryant and NBC Boston too. Like, because we wanted coverage of this and they're making it happen. So thank you to Justice Serve TV. I'm gonna throw their link up too. I'll just throw the video up in the chat. And what I'd like you to do is make sure you subscribe to them and let them know we sent them over. We sent you over. Because I'm gonna play their video next. What Michael recorded from court today. This is from Justice Served TV. Someone said he only got 5 minutes. Well, that's probably how long the thing. That's the fun. This is the thing, too, folks. This is why it's so hard for these journalists and why I give them so much credit for being here. Because this hearing probably lasted 10, 15 minutes, honestly, total. And nothing really happened, right? And some of us, even me, it was a hassle to get here because I'm still driving through Salem traffic, in the morning. I didn't get breakfast. I haven't had lunch yet. I still had dogs to walk as soon as I got out of there. I had to rearrange my schedule. But we sit there for 2+ hours in these benches waiting for them to call a meeting, a hearing that's going to last 10, 15 minutes. And then we wait for another half hour, 40 minutes for them to come out and so we can get the press conference. And then someone like Michael Bryant, he has to drive 3.5 hours each way to get there. So that's why it's sometimes difficult for everyone to get there. It's like, yeah, you're really going to, donate 10 hours of your day to record 15 minutes of video. And that's what Michael did today. So I want to thank him so much for being there. Even if he didn't get all the video, we're going to watch and see what he got. I also pinned the Justice group for Kelsey in the chat today. Make sure you join that group. Yeah, that's the other thing, Denise. Denise was there. Denise, good comment. That was the funniest shit of all, too. Like, think about that. More time was spent at this hearing having the judge read all the paperwork while we're just sitting there than actual time devoted to, any talking heads there. It's like she couldn't have done that this morning before everyone got there at court or last night. I mean, this is the system. It just tell us we got to get there by 8:30. And we're sitting here now at 10:30 watching the judge read paperwork for like 20 minutes from this case. I don't know if it was quite 45 minutes, but I don't know because they wouldn't even let me look at my phone, right? If I even look at my phone to see the time, there's someone in my face. You know what I mean? I got one of these camera stand things, I don't know what they call them, a camera dolly, just a little handheld to hold the cell phone camera and I was holding it today in court because, I didn't have good pockets. It's kind of bulky. I didn't have a bag or anything. And one of the bailiffs comes over, what's that? I'm like, look, here it is. No big deal. But that's the way these courts are. It's just like everything's overdone, but efficient is not it. There's no efficiency on our time. Yeah, selfie stick, exactly. I had one of those little selfie sticks, It's like one of those black ones, so they're looking at it like, is that a weapon or a mace? You know what I mean? It's like, no, dude, it's a selfie stick. It's a selfie stick. A gimbal, yeah. One of those handheld ones for the cell phone. It's funny, like that stuff, all that stuff, they're all over. If you start typing in your phone, they come right up to you. People are covering it up. People are, I'm watching some of the journalists, even the journalists with credentials, they were covering up because it was ridiculous today. And so that stuff they overdo. But having the judge be prepared and not have to have us watch her for 20, I don't know, 20 minutes to 45 minutes. Someone's saying it's 45 minutes. I don't know how long it was. It was a while. Watch her read all the paperwork and this. It's just like, really? You got NBC. They got 3 different people here. They got 2 camera people and a journalist, and we're watching you read paperwork, Judge. I don't know. These courts are just, they're in their own world. They don't care about our time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they do. They make it hurtful. We have to keep showing up.
On the Elaine and Fitzsimmons matter, please, 25W0966.
This is also about costing you money because these attorneys get paid by the hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, these attorneys are standing around, sitting around all day, waiting for this shit to be called. They get paid by the hour. It's like the courts want to punish you so that you give up, that you make a settlement, that you don't go to trial. I hope Justin's listening. And I'm sure Justin's concerned by all the people showing up here, all the eyeballs, all the media, the high stakes of this. If I were him, I would just try to make it go away. I'd try to do the best for Kelsey, the best for the baby, the best for me. That's all of that should be the same. Like, you may not have married her. It may have had a rocky start here. But dude, you're attached to her forever. Because you have a baby. And that doesn't even go away when the baby's 18 years old, you know? Let's play more of this.
Kindly come forward and be seated while I review your documents. Thank you. You may be seated.
Yeah, that's the attorney that I asked the question to. The bald guy with the glasses. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because that is one, even though I'm giving the judge a hard time and kind of the court too for like giving so many of the journalists a hard time for being, even the court, even the ones who were SJC approved were getting a hard time for typing on their computers. One good thing that I've noticed in both the Essex Superior and here in the Essex Probate Court is the cameras. They did allow Michael to get in there and film. And not just him, they allowed NBC. They basically said, you know what, we'll allow 2 pool cameras. One from major media, which was NBC Boston, and one from the internet. We'll allow you to have 2 cameras. So that was actually cool, especially a family probate hearing. That usually does not happen in Massachusetts. So I will give the judge in the court props on that. They did allow that today. So I just like to see a little more of that. That was, I'm fair. You know, when the court does the right thing, I'm like, great job. But when they're over restrictive, I'm going to call it out. And so there was good and bad in the court. The best thing they did, I will admit, is they allowed these 2 cameras to be running. So that was phenomenal. And I didn't dislike this judge. Like, I thought her demeanor was fine. I watched her with other folks today, and Kelsey, she was totally fine. This judge, there was no issues there. I just thought the time management where she's reading all this stuff while we're all sitting there waiting, and we were told it was going to start at 8:30. It's like, come on, you know. But that's the way these courts are run. I would just think with a more of a high profile where everyone in the court is there for this one case, you might move it along a little bit. You might be a little prepared. All right, let's get to it. Maybe I'll have to speed this up. Is this the part where she's reading everything? Yeah. That's probably all he caught, right? How long is it? 31 minutes. Oh, here comes Kelsey. This is where they bring in Kelsey. Okay. See, that's funny. I didn't get to see that angle. I didn't see the pants she was wearing because I'm on kind of the opposite side of the courtroom, and all I could see was her top when she walked in. So it's interesting to get this angle where Michael was from across. And the other thing that sucked today, too, is, like I said, I'm in the second row, and then I moved up to the first row, and I can't hear a thing that's going on in this courtroom. Like, I'm straining. I'm like going like this. Because, like, nobody speaks into the microphones, and even when they do, the microphones don't seem to work. Like, it's like, are you kidding me? It's frustrating. Very frustrating to cover this today. All right, so we're going to skip ahead. 25 minutes. It was 25 minutes, yeah. You imagine that? We're going to skip ahead 25 minutes here. Well, I want to see if there's any shots of the... you know what? I'll do it super fast. I'm actually going to step up for a second. I'm going to put it on the fast mode. We'll do like 2.0. Yeah, we'll go 3. So I want to see if they show any of the audience here. Oh, there's Justin. A good shot of Justin. See, there I am, far right. You saw me for a second. See, thank you, Michael.
Thank you. And sir?
It's funny. I think Michael went far right just to get me in there. Thank you, Michael. I'm going to play that part again. Because you can see when I say I'm in the first row, there's lawyer seats in front. They're actually in the first row, but I'm in the first public row. I'm going to slow this down a little bit too because I want to just get when they introduce themselves, and then we will skip ahead. But it's good to get a view of the courtroom. Like I said, you can see on the far left side, it's all full. On the right side, it was all full too. Let's just go back a little bit. See that? All right, so seeing that right behind me, you see me to the far right? The guy right behind me in the blue, I believe that's Justin's brother. So that's where his family's sitting, in the back row. Basically the third row back. And I'm in the first row of public seating now. They're in the third row back. Or they showed me for a second. That was Michael. Thank you, Michael. Showing me on screen. I made the big time.
Would you kindly rise and identify yourself, beginning first with you, ma'am?
Good morning, Your Honor. Tyra Cameron on behalf of Justin Elaine.
Thank you. And sir,
Justin Elaine.
and counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Peter Kuiper for Justin Elaine.
And ma'am? The last name? Thank you. And ma'am?
Good morning, Your Honor. Kelsey Fitzsimmons.
Thank you. And counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Ryan Hunter for Kelsey Fitzsimmons.
Thank you. Would the parties please raise their right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the cause now in hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, ma'am?
Yes.
Sir?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be seated. I'm reading the affidavit that was provided by, not the affidavit, the memorandum that was provided by counsel for the plaintiff. All right, just one moment. Did I fail to recognize another attorney?
Hello, Your Honor.
Yes,
Timothy
counsel, I'm
Bradle.
sorry. Your
That's
name-
all right. I'm criminal and restraining order counsel for Ms. Fitzsimmons.
And your name again?
Timothy Bradle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You may be seated. Just one moment.
But she reads the documents for 25 minutes. While she's doing that, I'll just say, for people who got here late, like freeze frame, pan out. I like freeze frame. Jay Giles says, I am late. What did you ask the attorney? Did he answer your question? I just asked him for any comment. I said, do you have any comment? And he didn't even give me what Justin gave me, which Justin said, no comment, talk to my attorney. He didn't even acknowledge me. He didn't even say nothing. He didn't even say no comment. He just acted like I didn't ask him a question. And I asked it again, you know? The attorney, which I thought was surprising. Like, here you go, Kelsey Fitzsimmons facing charges. She's the one she's the one has the complaint filed against her in family court. Her side is all speaking. Her attorneys, they're all speaking, answering questions. Justin's side doesn't say anything. No comment. I resemble Peter Wolf. I follow Peter Wolf on Twitter. I like Peter Wolf. I've met Peter Wolf. Good guy. I met him through a friend of mine, Asa Brebna. He was at my friend's art show. Peter's a great guy. I love him. I love his music. I love Peter. Great guy. A lot of people know him because he's just a regular guy that will hang out, you know? I know, why not? Why not review? Especially when you know all these people are going to be there. All right, I'm going to skip ahead. I do want to see myself. I heard there's some better shots of me, but I don't want to torture you all. You know, we'll do the, oh wait. We'll skip ahead to the crowd audience, and then we'll speed it up a little bit again. I do gotta jump out for a minute too. I'll be back. I'm just gonna let this play for a little while. We'll just do it twice. We'll do it 2 times speed. So I do want to see the crowd audience. I want to see what everyone's doing. Give you an idea of what's going on here. See, these are the lawyers. This is like the first. This is the real first row inside, and that's the attorneys. Basically, I'm in the first public or reporter, area. See, there's Charlie. He's talking to one of the bailiffs about his computer. I love Charlie. Charlie wouldn't sit down. I could tell Charlie wasn't taking no for an answer. He was very frustrated, and I do not blame him. Just trying to do his job. He's not disturbing anyone. What is the problem? Journalism should not be banned in a courthouse. I'm sorry. One thing if you're like some other people who type so loud that it's affecting the transcript, affecting the recording, but Charlie doesn't make a sound. I've sat next to him. a couple times now. He doesn't make any noise while he's typing on his little laptop. He's just taking notes, and he's very quiet, not bothering anybody. All right, I'm going to step out for a minute. I'll be right back. Just going to let this play. Oh, wait, I got to acknowledge this. Thank you so much, What the Duck 23. I really appreciate you. Big time. I saw you last night as well. Thank you, What the Duck. Wow. Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I got to say, too, before I step out for a second here, I'll be right back, but we have some big shows upcoming. Next week, I'm pretty sure Howie Carr's coming back on the show, number one. And there's some other things I'm working on. Working on some journalism, maybe, a story. Something else, not related to any of this. But there's a lot to cover locally. And I'm loving what I'm doing. I'll be right back in a few minutes. We're just going to keep watching this.
like to begin by hearing the representations of counsel relative to the plaintiff's memorandum on the issue of venue. And have counsel had an opportunity to confer regarding this issue?
We have.
Yeah, Judge, I will say this is the first time that I've heard. Issue this morning when my brother submitted the memo, but we have conferred. And
All right.
I'm gonna let my brother go ahead and speak.
All right, very good. Why don't I hear you, counsel, on the issue of venue?
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. And Your Honor, likewise, as my sister just said, I also sort of heard about this issue rather recently. And when we had filed the motion to advance the hearing to today, came to the clerk's office and said, you know, this may be an issue. So I took a look at it. And, my client had filed a complaint pro se. And at the time, I know on the face of the complaint, Judge, it was completed with
I think it was great that Tim Bradle was there. His paralegal, Courtney, too. It was great Tim Bradle was there. He didn't have to be for the civil case hearing necessarily unless issues regarding the RO or bail came up. Scott McGinnis says it was great. It was good to see him. There's also another comment I wanted to get up here. Let me find it. A lot of comments coming in about the judge. There was someone who had looks like practiced before the judge or knew the judge, said the judge was fair. Well, here's one. I like this one. Kathy's Law 1 says, Mike, it's better that the judge is taking time reading the pleadings, unlike other judges that can't be concerned with the documents. That's true. I mean, that's one thing I will say about this judge. I had some criticism about, my time and other people's time in the courtroom, but at least she cares. Like, you could see that she was reading everything. She was digging in. So I thought that was good. And I like the demeanor of the judge. I feel like I'm a good, you can kind of read people pretty quickly. And I got a good read off this judge. I think this judge is a fair judge. I think she's nice. I think she cares. And like I said, I'm glad she let the 2 cameras in there, that we can get this video, and that Michael was able to get in there and get this, video and audio for us, so we don't have to go through NBC corporate. So there's a lot to like about this judge. I will definitely say that. I just wish it would have been a little quicker for us, We didn't have to sit there for 2+ hours, 2.5 hours, waiting and waiting and waiting. Yeah, and she was making notes. That's true. She was. I feel pretty good with this judge. Unfortunately, I don't think she's going to be the one that hears it. I think it's going to probably get kicked to Stowe. Yeah, the judge is polite and kind. She was. Yeah. All right, let's watch a little more of this.
with the assistance of the Court Service Center in Lawrence. And, an issue of jurisdiction had been raised. At the time, there had been a series of events that happened very quickly. And at the time this all happened, he did live in North Andover, the child was in North Andover. The restraining order came, I believe, the day before that. And he did move.
In June.
In June 30th. Yep. And he did move to his parents' house in his mind temporarily, not knowing what was going to happen. He did write down that he lived in Stowe. He remains living in Stowe today. The statute talks about where one parent and a child lives. Technically, Ms. Fitzsimmons continues to reside in North Andover. Technically, the child could be construed to have been living in North Andover.
I'm going to stop quickly on this comment. Words Matter says, Mike, waiting hours for a judge to start proceedings is so frustrating, especially when you're told to show up at some ungodly hour. You're paying your lawyer by the quarter hour. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. And even for all the journalists, because we want coverage on this, and I can imagine the amount of money NBC Boston, for instance, paid today. And some of the print outlets like Lawrence Eagle Tribune and Mass Live, newspapers definitely don't have the margins that they used to. Let's just put it that way. And to see them send reporters, I want them to continue to be there. They're good reporters there. I would just like to see their time spent more wisely. So they can always show up because I feel like it's a great sacrifice that they're covering this. Um, but again, I don't really feel like it's actually the judge's fault. You know, it's the system. Like we watch case after case come up. There's a lot of people. There was a line. There was a line. There was literally a line of people with matters before this court today. So there was a lot going on in the court. I just feel like they're probably understaffed. I feel like we need to invest more into the courts. You know, that's the bottom line, and that's not the judge's fault. I feel like the judge is probably overworked. You know, I'm sure if she had the time, she would have gone over that earlier today or last night, but it looks like they're overwhelmed, honestly. So maybe the solution is we need to invest more into the courts. All right, let's just play a little more of this.
I think the statute's satisfied. That being said,
It's
I'm
like an
not,
R&B.
you know, I'm not married to the notion that the case has to stay here or was transferred to Middlesex County. I'd be okay with that. I think it's an interesting issue. I think it's a close call. I think the court made the determination, and I don't think this really has to come to that. I gave it to them this morning. I think the court made the finding that at the time.
This is the comments a little much. It says, well, sorry, but other cases have, well, let me read that again. Well, sorry, but others have cases as well. That's saying one person is more important than another. No, we didn't say that. We said that people have invested their time and effort to be there, and news organizations. Those other cases don't have 10 reporters sitting there. They don't. That's basically what I'm noting. Is that I want to see coverage of this case, you know, and there's a lot of money being wasted. That's what I said. I didn't say that those other cases aren't as important. I'm just saying there isn't the public interest in them. I don't know what that's the Lauren syndrome. I don't know what I don't even know who the hell Lauren is, so and I don't have any syndrome. I'm talking about journalism. Yeah, like just to serve TV. You know how long that guy's day was? I think he spent 7 hours in the car to cover this today. And then he sat around for 2.5 hours on top of that, doing nothing, waiting for the hearing to start. That's what I'm talking about. Janet, Janet knows. So I guess there's more of the hearing. We're gonna post it up, but that's what I'm commenting on. Thank you. All right, let's get back to that. I'm not gonna respond to any more comments like that.
The child technically lived in North Andover and not Stowe. Mother still lived in North Andover, and I think the statute's satisfied. It's definitely an interesting issue.
So you
based on a matter of the day.
You indicated in the memorandum that your client left North Andover and then pretty much immediately after securing the restraining order and went to Stowe. Is that correct?
He did, but he also had everything was in North Andover. He was paying a lot of bills in North Andover, so he was both. But he was, to be forthright, he was living with his family and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right either. This whole judicial fairness means it comes up in the order it comes up. No, it's about when Kelsey gets there. That's really, I think, why we were last today, is that she's coming from Chicopee into Salem. And I think that's why we had to wait so long. Is I don't think she was there at 8:30. I think she showed up. I think they delivered her from, jail in Chicopee at about 10:30 or 11 when she was supposed to be in court at 8:30. So it's just the system. It's just inefficient, and I'm just saying, it would be nice if they could be a little more efficient, especially when press is coming. And also, there's a lot of people sitting there all day. All I'm worried about too is am I going to get sick sitting next to all these coughing people? Because there were people coughing. That's the other thing. It's like 2 hours away. Got to be. I wonder how far Chick could be. It's got to be at least 2 hours. I bet it's 2.5 with traffic. All right, let's play more of this.
What did he take with him when he went?
I believe he took some clothing, temporary, just some items of clothing, items for the baby, some personal effects, but he had to go back to an ordinance over there after to retrieve other things. It was a temporary, in his mind, he didn't know, honestly, Judge, at that point in time, he didn't know what was gonna happen, he didn't know where things were gonna end up. It was a very tumultuous period of time.
Does he have a vehicle?
He does, Judge.
Where is the vehicle
Let me ask you.
cited as being registered?
It's registered in Stowe, Massachusetts now.
And when did you register it?
I believe within the past two months.
And your bills, where do they go to?
Is this currently or is this at the time?
At the
Seems like you're upset now. It's now you're agreeing with us and you're getting mad at us about it. I mean, come on. This is my point. This was my whole point. We're in 2025. Courts could be a little more efficient. They could be. They could try, especially when it's a high profile case. Especially when you have all these people in the courtroom and it's very uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for everybody, even the bailiffs, But again, I think it wasn't really, the more I think about this, it's not the judge's fault. It's not the bailiff's fault. It's the transportation. She got there late. Whoever, set up the transportation should have probably got her out earlier. It's just annoying. And I just feel bad for like someone like Michael, who had to drive 3.5 hours each way and then sit there for 2.5 hours waiting, That's it. That's all I'm saying.
at the present time.
Present time, goes to Stowe, Massachusetts.
So credit card statements and all those types of things go to what location?
Correct, I have transferred everything over.
I can turn on the captions.
All right, so all of your, mail comes to Stowe, is that correct?
Yes, my mailing and billing address is now Stowe.
I don't think he has captions on this yet. Yeah, no closed captions yet on this. Sometimes YouTube takes a while to update it.
Because I note on the restraining order that paragraph 3 lists the Stowe address as well, right?
That is correct. It was within a day or so. I had moved back home temporarily, not knowing what was going to happen with my son while that tumultuous period was occurring.
And so, did you change your voter registration status?
I did, yes.
And when did you do that?
I believe that was changed over when I did my license. That was within several weeks of leaving North Andover.
And that was my next question. So your driver's license indicates Stowe, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
A good point too. I mean, the thing about it is he does in this video, obviously he's going to look larger because he's closer to the camera, but he is larger than her and she is very tiny. Look how small Kelsey is. Justin is afraid of her. I know. It was kind of part of my question to him, right, today. It was kind of a harsh question. Maybe I should have taken a different tone, different angle with him. But that was kind of my point. Like, you were really afraid? If you were really afraid of your fiance, and you needed to get a restraining order, but then you went back to her house to retrieve your belongings, and she has guns there, and you didn't even call the police to escort you. Looking at Kelsey, I don't see how anyone could be physically afraid of her. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to, but it's just true. Like, she's not very big. And that dude's taller than me. I'm like, what, 5'10", 180, I'd say. I bet that dude's 6 foot, I bet. And she's tiny compared to me. I'm kind of just an average guy, right? She's tiny. And I'm not saying he's like all jacked up and muscular or anything. I don't think so. Like, I wouldn't be worried about it.
And provided that this information is
That's the video, huh? Let me go to the next one. Hopefully, maybe it might even pop up here. No, it's not gonna. Hold on. I don't want to get in trouble. Don't get me in trouble. They're going to Smokey and the Bandit. Do not do that to me. How did that just happen? Why did it play automatically? I don't like that. All right, let's find the next. Justice Serve, I guess, has the rest of the hearing up. Let me just find that. Justice Serve TV.
disclosed. Counsel, is there any daycare that is provided?
I'm going to get that up. I found the video. We're going to play the second half here. Is this the same video? It's not the same video. Okay. It's already boosted, which is good. All right, let's get this up. Oh, did I already get that up? Well, hold on. What's going on? I don't even know which video I got up. Hold on. Hopefully I got the right one. Is this the right one?
Disclosed. Counsel, is there any daycare that is provided in Stowe without indicating where the daycare is? But if there is daycare for the child, is it in the city of Stowe?
Yes, Your Honor.
And relative to the child's pediatrician, is that in the Stowe area?
The pediatrician is still in North Andover. I stuck with the same one that he started with. He did recognize the fact that it is a bit of a drive to bring the child up in case there was something that did arise. So I have thought about changing closer to Stowe, but he currently is in North Andover with the same pediatrician.
Okay. Anything further, counsel?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Do you wish to be heard on that, counsel?
I do, Your Honor. Thank
Okay.
you. I would ask the court if I can have 1 week to brief this issue. I do think it's an interesting issue, as my brother counsel indicated, because the father technically resided when he brought both the restraining order and this action in North Andover, as did the child and mother. Mother's residence, as Your Honor probably saw from the filings and the stipulation that was submitted today, that her house is being sold, but where she plans to go upon release from jail would be also in Essex County and would be where her parents reside. The fact that father made changes to certain bills after he made the filing, I don't think is necessarily indicative of where proper property is. As my brother indicated, I also don't necessarily have a preference, but I do think it needs to be accurate. And so I would ask if Your Honor would just give me 1 week to flesh out some of these facts so I can understand them a little bit better. Because I do think that some of on the face, the paperwork says it's Stowe, but even in the memorandum submitted to Your Honor this morning by father, it says that he is in North Andover, or felt that he was in North Andover, wants to carry on in North Andover at some point in the future. So I would want...
May I interrupt you for
Yes,
one
Judge.
moment? I just thought of a question. Is your client still employed by the same employer that he was at the time of the incident?
Yes, Your Honor. He's employed by the time of Andover.
All right. And is he permitted to if you're able to disclose this, is he permitted to reside in another area and continue his employment at his present employer?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Was there a need to get a special allowance, or would the permission have existed regardless? Like, do you have to work within a certain
Permission was
radius?
granted by the town manager and the chief of the fire department.
Okay.
Since I'm 2.5 miles outside of the 20-mile radius.
Okay,
But permission was granted by both.
thank you. And you may continue, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. I was just suggesting that if Father Blue does intend to return to North Andover as his filing this morning suggests, what I wouldn't want to have happen is that he transfers it to Middlesex and then all of a sudden everything comes back to Essex, if you will, Judge. I do think the continuity in a court system for this type of case is important. I also do recognize that, as my brother indicated in the memo this morning, so many other actions are here in Essex County. I don't think that's necessarily defining, but I do think it's important for the court to consider. And so, I would ask for a week to brief this and submit that to Your Honor.
All right. And do you wish to comment on that, counsel?
No, Your Honor, it's my sister, and I have no objection to her having an opportunity to brief it. Likewise, I'd like to do probably a more thorough job. This is together very quickly based on common.
Yeah. This is what I'm thinking. I think that is a fair request on your part, counsel, that you have an opportunity to exercise your due diligence and brief the matter. So I'm inclined to allow it. What I'm thinking of doing is giving you a period of time and then giving you a short period of time for a response written. And then I think what I'll do, rather than scheduling another hearing, is just act on it administratively, because I've heard your arguments, I've heard, some of your argument, and understanding that you wish to provide me with something more formal, so to speak. So I believe that is reasonable. Would either of you be opposed if I then elected to act on the matter administratively and issue my decision at that point?
I would not object to that, Your Honor.
All right. Very good. So let's take a look at the calendar here. When do you think that you can have the brief in, counsel?
I can have it by next Wednesday, Your Honor.
All right. And that would be the 29th, right?
Yes.
And what time frame, counsel, do you believe that you would need the?
A few days, Your Honor. I don't think it would take that long, so. That's a court's discretion, a few days would be fine.
So I'm thinking maybe if you could have it in by the 3rd?
That'd be fine, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, because my brother counsel and I have already spoken about this a little bit this morning, we actually might be on the same page after the two of us do more due diligence on this. And if we are, would Your Honor like a joint memorandum support?
If I'm happy to accept whatever you wish to do. And the other thing that I'm thinking, I'm just trying to think of a mechanism so that we don't have to have everyone come back in again, because I noted that you had submitted a stipulation. Is that correct?
That's
and without
correct.
going into it substantively, did it address all the issues, or were there certain issues that needed to be addressed?
So our stipulation, Your Honor, that we worked on over the past couple of days addresses all of the issues that
All
are
right.
before the court today on 2 motions filed by the father.
Okay.
So all the issues before you today are resolved.
And in the event that I was to act in a manner such that this county retained jurisdiction, I'm wondering if counsel would be comfortable with a written colloquy of the parties, that I could then act upon the matter administratively, or would you want it heard when I actually acted on the motion?
I'm fine with it being written, Judge, but I would have an objection to going forward on the stipulation today. The parties are in full agreement that we'll do motions that were submitted on an emergency basis. And part of that is because of the sale of the house.
And when is that scheduled?
November 7th. November
No, I mean, if we're operating on this time frame, that would all, I can meet that time frame. I'm hesitant to take action on something that I may be sending to another, county, so to speak, but I would be able to act on that.
Meant that I want to read an email. Welcher's emotional support laptop sent me an email about being banned on YouTube, which I tried to find you and I don't see you on our ban list. I know YouTube's been acting weird, unfortunately. You may have to create a new account because I can't find you on there and I would unban you. But I just want to read their comment about Kelsey tonight and Justin as well. Just something you almost touched on talking about your parents' divorce. As we create a community supporting Kelsey, we need to remember a custody issue is not the same as a criminal trial with a winner and loser. Ideally, in a custody dispute, the child is the winner, and the parents find a way to work together for the sake of the child. We need to not add animosity where it may not exist or at least needs to be healed. While I don't like how Justin has handled things, he also could not have anticipated all that has happened. We need to be careful about not demonizing Justin to the point he fights just to prove everyone wrong. We want Justin and Kelsey to come together for the sake of Caden. Just my 2 cents. I agree with you 100%. And that's what that's kind of the angle I felt today. Like, I may not be happy with everything Justin's done so far, but I also haven't heard his side of the story. And I also feel like I want to give the dude grace and advice. Do what's best for the baby. And I think that is not going so hard on the mom. You know? So I think they need to come together a little bit. And maybe if we don't demonize him so much, he won't dig in so much, right? And like offer him that opportunity. You know, and maybe he has been an ass. Maybe he doesn't want to be an ass tomorrow. You know? I hope so. I hope he does what's best for the baby and Kelsey. That should be his focus. And I see a lot of people not agreeing with that, saying he's a weasel. He's a rat. He's this, he's that. I get it. But, and I saw Janelle asking about them being banned. I know. I couldn't find it. I think there's a YouTube issue. Some people get banned and we don't even ban them. Maybe YouTube flagged their account. I don't know. Because I looked, I couldn't find it in our ban list. All right, let's go back to the video.
And meet that deadline so that you would know what the status was, at least from this court. If it is, in the event that it is transferred to another county, I'm assuming that the purchase and sale agreement probably has an extension clause worked into it, right? So it wouldn't be, most purchase and sale agreements have that.
So Judge,
Yeah.
if I-
There is no extension clause.
Judge, if I may-
Really? Was it stricken? Generally, there's a standard.
Both, Jen, and it's not coming up. And it's actually the chat name. I don't know. I know other channels claim it's the channel name. I don't know how they do that. On my YouTube end, all they show on the ban list is the chat name. And her chat name doesn't come up. It's not there. And I looked under the channel name because I have both. It's not there. I don't know. All right, let's get back to it.
Yeah,
I'll look.
could be
I'll look
wrong,
again later. You know, you never know. You can miss it, but I looked through a couple times. I didn't see it.
But my recollection of purchase and sale agreements is there's usually an ability of the parties to continue it out for a period of time.
Your Honor, if I may, I think my sister sort of hinted at this. Today, we do have an agreement on some temporary orders, that's all they are. And
Right, but if I do that, then what I'm doing is I'm starting to make substantive decisions, and then if it's transferred somewhere else, I'd prefer not to do that. That's how I'd prefer to handle it. Counsel, did you secure any further information?
I'm not real estate counsel, but I'm hearing that it's not a traditional kind of boilerplate clause that allows the parties to extend. The purchaser has a full advantage on that, and it does create some jeopardy for the seller.
Well, we can try and shorten the time frame. I want to do my best to try and accommodate the circumstances of the parties, but I'm not inclined to start making decisions. So should we try and shorten the time frame?
Sure, Judge. We could say the 28th for mine to be due. It's just, I would,
Advice from people who don't run YouTube channels. I just gotta love the advice here. You guys get caught up on the wrong shit. I just gotta say. I have the link to the YouTube channel. There's nothing that shows it's banned. The only way to unban someone on YouTube is you go in your YouTube studio and you look on your ban list and you see the YouTube handles. Now, sometimes people don't send their YouTube handles. They'll send a link, and then we go there and we look up their handle. This is not that complicated. But it's most of your advice is all wrong, though. It's pretty clear you guys don't run YouTube channels, and you're trying to give us advice, which is funny. It's typical. Sorry.
and I know that my brother counsel and I can work collaboratively, but I would need some information from his side in order for me to be able to brief that properly, because it's all about where his client resided.
Is that something you think you can do today while you're both here?
Sure.
All right, so we'll back it up, and then
We don't need help on looking up YouTube accounts. It's pretty easy. That's all I'm saying. Only offer help when it's asked for. That's always it's always good advice, right? Especially when you're in a chat and there's 1,800 people telling you stuff you don't even need to hear.
If you have yours on the 28th, then you can have yours on the, do you want to say the 30th?
That's fine.
I'm not sitting on the 31st, but I can have it out to you, so that at least it would be the beginning of the week.
To be clear, Your Honor, my client wouldn't, however the court decides this,
Yeah.
whether the case is in Essex County, Middlesex County, we would not be.
Not to take stuff personal. I'm not personally offended. It seems like you are. I just think it's funny more than anything. The people feel the need to tell us how to unblock somebody when we already know how to do that, guys. We've been running a channel for decades. Like this is basic shit. This is like someone trying to tell you how to tie your shoes and you're 50 plus years old. It's like, really? You don't think I know how to tie my shoes at this point? I'm sorry. Good. I'm glad you're not offended. I hope not. Because I'm not offended. I'm just pushing back a little bit. Sometimes I think the advice is funny. It's like, I don't know. It's not that hard to unblock somebody. They're either on the block list or they're not.
Objecting to either way. We would abide by whatever the court decided as a jurisdiction. I don't think it's a.
Yes, she does.
Issue that, I think it's an issue that definitely can be resolved.
Yeah, the house is Kelsey's. He doesn't own the house. She owns the house. Her house.
The two of you discussed it at all?
A little bit,
Okay. And you provided me with what your thoughts are relative to venue, apart from any research that you want to do.
Correct. Correct. I do think, as I indicated, that if, father resided in North Andover at the time these were filed, even though the filings say something different, I think it's really about finding out that fact, which is very important. And also where,
I would ask the chat this. Only offer help when asked is absolutely terrible advice, especially when so many have trouble asking for help. It depends, though. It depends on what the help is. Like, unblocking someone from YouTube is not really, it's not really something that people need help on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you see someone struggling to eat, that's different. Then yeah, you might want to offer them some help. I agree. If you see someone drowning, you might want to offer some help. I could totally see that. I think it depends on the situation. When you're offering help when it's clearly not needed, that's kind of annoying. It just is. And I see that a lot, actually. It's like people trying to tell Tom Brady how to throw a football at times. You know what I mean? It's like it's just I don't know. I'm being an ass. Okay. Yeah, it's not even insulting. It's just silly. It's like you don't think a YouTuber that makes their living on YouTube knows how to unblock somebody? Like, it's just weird. I'm sorry.
My client is residing in Essex County, and it sounds like father is inclined to return to Essex County.
That's where I'm the information that I was provided relative to changing his license, changing his voter registration, those were in some of the issues that I wanted to understand before I made my decision. Let's try and do that. And if you get it in as early as you get it in, you can be in contact with my judicial case manager, and I'll do my best to address that as promptly as possible.
You actually email those to?
It would be helpful always to, send them to the registry, but given the urgency of the matter, I'm happy to have them sent to my assistant judicial case manager so that I can have them immediately, because it does take a little bit of time for the paperwork to go from point A to point B. So why don't we leave it that way, all right? And I'll do my best to accommodate you and get that out to you as soon as possible.
Thank you, Judge. There's two other housekeeping matters.
Yep.
And given what Your Honor just indicated about the rulings, we had filed an answer counterclaim and a substitute motion to accept that filing late. I was going to ask Your Honor if you would enter those, enter it as an allowed motion, but I'm not sure how Your Honor feels given the venue issue.
Do you wish to be heard on that?
Your Honor, my sister filed a motion to file late answer. I've assented to it. I have no objection to that. I'd also want to add, Judge, the court had referenced it very briefly relative to the stipulation in a written colloquy, in anticipation of what the court may decide. I suggest that we do submit written colloquy to
I'm happy to take that so that we don't have to find a time that everyone. I am hearing no objection relative to the issue of the late answer. I'm happy to allow that because I don't necessarily, I'm not concerned about that. So I will allow that. The other issue, you're going to give me your memo on the 28th or sooner. If you get it to me, sooner, just make sure that we know, that my assistant judicial case manager knows. The same for you. The earlier you get it in, the earlier I'll act on it and get it out to you administratively. All right?
All right, Your Honor, thank you.
Very good. And I think that we're set because the only other date that we would have is the restraining order date.
Yeah, this case is actually set, Your Honor, for a pretrial conference on May 1st.
Okay, great. Very good. That concludes the matter for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
How long this goes for?
Hold for 1 second. My assistant judicial case manager may be out the beginning of the week, so I just want to make sure that we have you send it to the person who can get it. I'm going to have you send it to Attorney Haddon, our judicial case manager, and then she'll get it to me. All right?
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. That concludes the matter for today. Thank you.
There goes Kelsey. They have her shackled. Oh, damn. You can tell. It's ridiculous. I was hoping they'd show me following him out. He and I are already out the door. I'm already following him at this point. That's the mom right there, I believe. Yep. I guess that's it. All right. I love some of your comments about how some of you are offended. This was a good one. See, this is one. See, this is actually, for me, it depends on the advice that's given, I guess. The unsolicited advice. This was actually, I should have actually seen this comment like 10 minutes ago, Heather. Because you're right. This is the unsolicited advice. Because this as a viewer, this is what would bother me watching the stream. Heather says, I'm offended. I had a reasonable question. Oh, wait, that's not the one I wanted. But I want to know what your now actually, Heather, I'm offended at you because I don't know what your question is. Post your question and I'll answer it. I haven't seen it. A lot of comments coming in. I'm just kidding. Please post your question. I'll try to answer it for you. Where's the one I wanted? Hold on. See, now I'm offended at myself because I'm posting the wrong comments. This is the one. This is the one. So I said to the person, I'm offended that you keep stopping the hearing for BS. I agree with you. That's the comment that I needed to see. The unsolicited advice I needed to see earlier. I should have seen your comment earlier and acted on it. So sometimes unsolicited advice is good. In this case, it is good. I am offended for you as well. I'm sorry I did that to you. And I would like to see your question. We have a lot of offended people today. And I don't mind. You can be offended. Let's see. Oh, no, I'm not going to demod you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Heather. All right. I'm not asking why can't anyone see his side. I'm not anti-Kelsey, but maybe he had real reason for protection going back for stuff. Does not equal proof she wasn't violent. I mean, definitely, I would like to hear his side of it. I do. I hope to hear his side of it. And I hope that they can just get it together, both of them. For the sake of the baby. Mm. Yeah, she was shackled. Did you see that on the way out? I mean, come on. Why do they got to shackle her? I guess that's standard protocol, but yep. This is a good point. There are studies from the 1950s through current day on the long-term negative effects of being separated from a parent, especially a mother. Justin should be making sure the baby has contact with Kelsey. I know. I know. Okay, I got something else on the Kelsey front. This is breaking news. We have a brand new, and this Gator Boy. Some of you might know Gator Boy. He came on the Grace Curley show with me recently. He's in the Facebook group, one of the moderators. He also designs the merchandise for Kelsey Fitzsimmons, the sweatshirts and the T-shirts. He's just tonight. I'm breaking it. I'm the first one to actually share this. He's got a new sweatshirt here, new hoodie, and see that right there. This is this is the tattoo that Kelsey has on her arm on the same spot. This was partially designed by Kelsey and Gator Boy. This is a brand new. Do I have it on the screen? Yes, I do. Okay, let me get that rid of that. So this is a brand new sweatshirt, $40. See that? That's her tattoo in the same place on her arm. So it's brand new and it's going to be it's on sale right now. He hasn't even announced it. We're the first ones breaking it. So if you want to get that, you can check that out. There's also a bunch of other merchandise as well available. I'm just going to post a link to all the merch in the chat if you want to check that out. Any profits, any proceeds, 100% of proceeds go directly to Kelsey Fitzsimmons, her defense fund. And the margin is not high. I know someone said he's got a good margin on the. He told me today it's only like $6 per sweatshirt on this one. I think he said it was $34 is the margin, how much it cost, and like $6 goes to Kelsey's fund. But he's not taking any of the profit. This is print on demand with Printify. All the money goes to Kelsey's fund. But the big thing is, if you want to support her and show support, and you want to wear it, this is something that she actually helped design. And it does raise money, and the big thing is it raises awareness. That's the big thing on the merch. It raises awareness. And it's something you could be proud to wear. And we have the Facebook group pinned in the chat tonight. So please make sure you follow over there on the Facebook group if you haven't. I think we're pretty much done. Oh, I do want to, I got to get some thank yous out. I had a very generous donation come in the other night on Venmo. Definitely want to give some thanks for it. We had some Paula K just sent $10 on Venmo and said, amazing coverage. Justin looked over at Kelsey countless times while the judge was reading the affidavit. I hope reality is setting in and that he puts the baby first. Did you notice that? I noticed that too. He was looking in her direction quite a bit. I did notice that. Thank you, Paula K. Sue B. Sue B sent a very generous donation the other night to us. I want to thank Sue B for the donation she made to us. Very nice of her. Very thoughtful. Very nice. She says, the fight, keep doing you. I appreciate your shows and content. Thank you so much, Sue B, on the Venmo. That was a very generous donation. I really appreciate you. It helps me with my legal defense, so thank you so much. All right, I think that's it on the Venmo. I want to thank everyone who's supporting us, subscribing, liking. We got a lot of new subscribers today. I want to thank you for that as well. Justice Kelsey Fitzsimmons, thank you to our mods. Sherry D was here tonight. I saw Jen O. I saw Sarah Shock and her. I want to thank MJ, Stephanie, Scott McGinnis. I want to thank our crew. And I want to thank Natalie. Diana says, love you, Mike. You are appreciated. Thank you so much. And I also want to note tomorrow night, Friday night, I'll be in Malden, Meridian Street for that JFK event. If you're going to be there, I hope to see you tomorrow night, Friday night. James Amaral, or what's his name? What do we call? You know James. On Facebook, I should get the flyer up, but I'm sure you've seen it. Hopefully if you want to be there, you can be there tomorrow night. James Jackson, thank you. I'm drawing a blank. It's been a long day. I'm calling him James Amaral. That's his real name. But I know it's James Amaral on Venmo or Cash App or whatever. I you know what? Let me grab the flyer. I'll just grab the flyer and put it up. Unfortunately, it's a little controversial too. I know there's another party with Turtle Boy, Halloween party. I'm not mad at anybody for going to either party. I was asked to go to this party before I knew there was a Turtle Boy party. And my name's on the flyer, so obviously I'm going to go. Unfortunately, it seems like there's a little competition going on. I'm not mad at anybody for going to any party. Whoever wants to go to what. I haven't heard anything today. I've heard some comments were sent to me about it. Like I said, I've been in court all day, so I don't even know what was said or who said what or how it was said, but it is what it is. If people want to go to the Turtle Boy event, awesome. If people want to go to the JFK event, awesome as well. I'll be at the JFK event because that's the one that I was asked to go to. And those, I agreed to go before I even knew there was a Turtle Boy event. I'm looking for the flyer. Why can't I find it? Hold on. You know what? I'll hit up James on here. Hold on one second. Here we go. It's the flyer. Why can't I find it now when I need it? This is the one thing I should have had prepared. Where the heck is the flyer now? Where I need it. Like, why can't I find the flyer? It was everywhere before. Now I can't find it. There it is. All right. We'll put it on the screen here. Some people, I think, are going to go to both events too. That's the thing. I've heard from some people that they were hoping to go to both, which you could definitely do. There it is. So that's the event. The boys are back. 1024. JFK, James Jackson, Kevin Kev, the Young Jerks, and attorney Dan Gallagher. 75 Meridian Street, Malden, Mass. 21 plus. It goes from 7 to 12. Venmo James Amaral 5 or Cash App $ James Amaral Jr. Hope to see some of you there tomorrow night. See, some people are going to both. Thank you. I'm going to have fun tomorrow night. Yeah, Justice said no comment. Talk to my attorney. And then his attorney didn't even say no comment. His attorney said nothing. His attorney wouldn't even acknowledge I asked him a question twice. And see, Scotty's going to the Turtle Boy event. I'm not mad at you for not coming to see me, Scott. I'd probably be there too if I, wasn't already committed. I'm headed out. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you, some of you, tomorrow night, hopefully, at Meridian Street in Malden, Mass. Looking forward to it. And we're looking forward to the SJC appeal. You heard Bradle say that today. They're going to file that today, so it's about to come up. So as soon as that comes up, we'll probably review that as well. The SJC full appeal to get Kelsey bail to get her out. Yeah, I'm going to smoke 2 tomorrow. I'm going to smoke quite a few tomorrow. Smoke like 3 joints at once. Yeah. All right, this is the official Facebook group. Make sure you join it. It's in the chat. Wherever you go tomorrow night, I hope you have fun. Whether it's at Turtle Boy event, whether it's at the JFK event, or it's somewhere else, some other restaurant, some other state, some other country, some other continent. I hope you all have fun tomorrow night. Friday night. We all need a nice fun night. Relax. Be around people you like. I don't know. We could definitely ask Gator Boy about children's sizes for hoodie sweatshirts. I think it depends if Printify has them. They may. I'm not sure. He'll probably see this comment. He's probably watching right now. So All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you, some of you, tomorrow night. Have a great night, everyone. Have a good weekend, and we'll see each other soon. Thank you, everybody, for liking, subscribing, supporting, all of that. I really much appreciate it. See a lot of new subscribers today, which is nice to see as well. And I'll see you again very soon. Maybe tomorrow night if you show up to Meridian Street. Looking forward to tomorrow night. And like I said, next week I'm planning on some big shows. I think Howie Carr's coming back on the show, and some other stuff might upcoming. Stay tuned. See you soon. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye now. Peace.